Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. Today is Wednesday, and on Wednesdays I do my Q&A videos. Basically, you get to ask me whatever questions you want to ask, and I answer them. So ask me the meaning of life or whatever you like, and I'll do my best to try to answer your questions. Hopefully, they're comic related because I'll have a better chance of answering them, but ask me whatever. So, strangely enough, last video got lots of comments, but not many questions. So I only got one question for this week, and it was from Mike Swintel, and he basically asked, "Did I ever watch Master and Madam Blaster's comic book channel, comic channel?" And yes, I have. So, Master and Madam Blaster, that's the name of the channel. Um, and I'll put a link to their channel in the description. So, it's actually a really good channel, and I'm slightly jealous of this channel in a way. It's not as big of a channel. I think they have like just under 300 subscribers. So go over there and subscribe to them because they definitely deserve it. But the reason I'm jealous of their channel is basically it's a husband and wife. And the wife, obviously, she's not necessarily super into comics, but she'll do cosplay. And she'll try to learn about the comics. And you can see, it's kind of cute to see that dynamic, and she kind of appreciates his hobby. She takes an interest in his hobby. Now, my wife totally has no interest in my hobby at all. She does not appreciate my hobby, and that's why I have my comic room, like where I can sort of hide it off and it's in its own little world. And it's a separate it's separate from anything that she has to deal with. So, yeah, so she doesn't really get into it. I actually wanted to bring her on to the channel just to do the trivia questions with her, like, do you know the name of this character and stuff like that, and see how well she does with her comic knowledge. But yeah, I'm still in the process of convincing her to come onto the channel. But if you watch Master and Madam Blaster's channel, they have that really great dynamic. She'll do some cosplay and stuff, which is kind of fun and cool. And they'll show some comics, and it's really just it's just a very sweet channel in a way. That's, I guess, the easiest way to describe it, because it's like a husband and wife talking about the hobby, and I think that's really great to have that. I don't think many men have that, to tell you the truth. So I think that's something that is very commendable. And I definitely recommend watching their videos. I do enjoy their videos. Um, yeah, so that's really all I have to say about their channel. There's really not much more to say. They show their comics that they get. They talk a little bit about the comics, and that's really their channel, but it's actually more than that. It is seeing, her do the cosplay, her get into some of the characters that she's learned about, stuff like that. But yeah, when I look at a channel like that, I actually see the potential. So I'm very good at judging channels and which channels are poised to grow and which ones are not poised to grow. And when I see their channel, I think it is professionally done. So I think it actually has that room to become a bigger channel, much bigger channel. That's one of the things that I'm always surprised with my channel. My channel's not big. I know that it's not big, but it has grown. And it's a reasonable size. Like, it's not, I'm at least on the radar to a certain extent, which is always a great thing. So what I kind of wanted to and I'm trying to do this kind of in a weird way, is get into the topic of, if you have a comic channel, what do you do to grow your channel? So, I see these smaller channels, and I think some of them are really great. And, I see them as having all this potential to grow and to become good channels. I can think of so many like this. And I actually did a video, maybe I'll link it as well, where I talked about some small channels that are really great but undersubscribed. Um, and I wanted to get into, how do you build a comic book channel? So that's really what I'm going to be talking about for the rest of this video. And I want to give you like 5 basic tips maybe 6, I don't know. It depends on how, and I try to follow these in my own routine. Um, the first one is posting. And they always say that. Actually, if you look at every successful channel, one of the things that they do is they post. And I always saw it as the key to writing. The key to writing is to write. It's not that you need inspiration. It doesn't, it's not about finding the moment to write down that really thoughtful thought that you have, but it's just doing it over and over and over again, and it becomes routine. And that's what I try to do. I try to make sure that I post out every day, same time, and create that regularity. And I think the channels that are successful do that. That's one of the core elements of what they do. They, you know, as I was saying about the writer writes, and therefore the book gets done. It becomes that routine. And when you get to that routine level, it becomes easier for some reason, and it becomes where you're just going through the motions, and you can create the videos and get the content out there. But the users, like you guys watching right now, you can expect that I'll have certain videos on certain days, and you get into my routine as well. And it becomes like, you get the same people watching the videos over and over again, and it grows from that. Because there'll be always some people that will be interested in those kind of videos. So that's the first thing, posting. Just post regularly. And I always recommend scheduling your posts. So that people do get that sense of consistency. Now, you don't have to post out every day. That's what I do, and it may be a bit extreme. Maybe what I'd recommend is post out at least once a week, though, and just create that regularity. Because if you do it kind of irregular, where you post out and then maybe you wait a couple of days and then you post out another video, or you post out 2 videos in a row, and it people don't know what to expect, and in a way it kind of discourages people from watching. Another thing that happens is if you post out regularly, you always have a video going out, right? That's really important. But what happens is I'll get, every so often I'll get a big video that just, for whatever reason, and sometimes I don't know, like sometimes I did this one, it was really off the cuff. It was just like totally like winging it, like as I always do. But it was one that I recorded. It took me literally 10 minutes altogether to make the video. And that video went viral. In terms of like my channel level of viral. Like, I'm not saying millions of views or anything like that. I'm saying like 1,000 views, which is good for my channel. That's a good response to my videos. My videos don't get that many views. I get about 500 views a day across my entire channel. So so for one video to get 1,000, that's actually a big deal. But what'll happen is if you post out the very next day, after you have that sort of successful video, generally you'll actually pick up some subscribers. And if you can keep that momentum going, your channel will build actually fairly quickly. So that's key. So posting, number one. The number 2 kind of thing that I recommend to people is quality. When I first tried to do this channel, I tried to like get proper video equipment, and like it didn't work very well. I just didn't get my quality of my videos were kind of iffy. The sound was really iffy. Like it wasn't picking up the audio very well, and there was some real issues, and that quality really was bad. Since then, I've improved. I wouldn't say I'm 100%. My quality is what it is. You get what you get with me. It's like I have to laugh at myself because I don't edit my videos. I make it pretty raw for you guys, and I really do appreciate you guys. I want to say big thank you to everybody that is watching my videos, because sometimes I wonder, because I don't edit them. I I don't go through that whole process because I don't have the time. I'm just so busy. I'm working so many hours in my regular life that I don't have the time to edit the videos the way I would love to edit. I used to actually way back in the day. Like I had another channel and it got up to about a couple thousand subscribers as well. And I used to edit a lot, and it was just like so time consuming, and it just it was just too much of a grind. It just was too much. It wasn't. I wanted to make this channel a fun thing, and video editing is not fun. It can be just very time consuming. But the flip side of that is if you like a video editing, if you like, you know, spending that little bit extra time getting those like nice little inserts, things that make the video a little bit more dynamic, it does pay back. You get the result because often what will happen is people appreciate the extra effort that you put into the video, and you will generally get better results, and you'll get more people watching. People do like professionally edited videos, and that's kind of why I'm always surprised that I do have as many subscribers as I do, because uh I don't professionally edit my videos, and they are not as good quality as they could be. It's something that I do want to improve. I get little things like I do now everything on a more professional iPhone. I have a professional stand. I got a little bit better lighting. I have upgraded slightly. But the point is, the second most important thing I think is quality of the video itself, and having really great video quality, audio quality, lighting. And then third, that leads into the third thing, what you actually say in the video. So number 3 on my list of most important things you can do to kind of build your channel is really have great content. Fortunately, I have good enough content. Like I'm not saying I'm like the best or anything like that. I'm not an egotist in that respect. But I do have lots of great books. So that's that's really like, maybe I'm not the most interesting, but at least the books that I have are cool enough that people will watch it just for the cool books. They'll be like, "Oh, that's a cool book. Alan's lame, but that book is cool." So we'll look at the book, and people will generally enjoy it because there's a cool book to look at, and maybe one that people haven't seen before. Because my tastes in collecting are pretty broad. Like broad meaning women. Like, I like I like my sexy girl covers. So and people enjoy that. I think people enjoy those kind of videos. They enjoy seeing lots of different comics from golden age to silver age to modern, all over the place, and all different grades as well. So I think people enjoy seeing that variety and also seeing things that they don't normally see. So so that content part is really, really important. And when you show something, I actually come from a teaching background. I actually taught for 3 years when I was living in Korea. And one of the things that I did was like, I tried to be interesting to the students. Like I tried to be, it was really hard because they didn't speak English and I was speaking English to them. But I tried to be interesting and try to be educational. So when I approach these videos, I kind of do the same thing. I try to teach people about the comics and like really create that interest in what I'm interested in, like share my interests. And that's what I recommend. If you do anything on YouTube, share your interests, make that content is interesting by sharing your interests. If it interests you, it'll interest your viewers generally. So that's my number 3 takeaway. Now, the other 2 takeaways are kind of different. So really, I kind of get into all the video elements, but there's sort of another element, and this is how do you build that channel in terms of working with other channels. One of the things that I tried to do, and I haven't 100% succeeded in this, but I try to collaborate. I actually try to engage with other channels, and I'm gonna say, hey, there's a few that promise me that they will like eventually, collaborate with me, and you know who you are, so get around to it. Collaborate with me. Like I'm available. I'll make myself available. Um, you know, the thing is, collaboration is key to success with YouTube. You gotta collaborate. You know, the thing is, like, let's say even if it's a small channel, like I was just talking about Master and Madam Blaster's channel, and it's a small channel. But if I, for example, if I collaborated with them, you know, their few subscribers might come over to my channel, and some of my subscribers might go over to their channel, and that we both gain from it. So even a small channel can help boost your channel. So don't you know don't ignore those possibilities, because you can really like broaden your audience, especially when you collaborate with other people that have similar interests. Because if they have similar interests, their audience are going to be interested in that content, and they're going to probably be interested in your content. They just might not know about you. So they'll generally gravitate you to you, and that's a good way to build a channel. And the great thing is, even the bigger channels are very open to collaborating. That's one of the things that amazed me when I first, got. I think I was like 200 or 300 subscribers. I was a small channel, and Night Tiger Comics and Captain and Comics. There was a few other channels where they really, welcomed me and actually allowed me to collaborate with them and brought me onto their channels, and it was a really great experience. And when I say collaborate, what I actually mean is it's a two-way thing. You gotta make sure that they feel like you're helping them and that they are helping you. So what you do is you make sure you bring them onto your channel so that they get more like their channel will get some benefit from it, and go on to their channel so that you can get some benefit from it. And by doing that uh, cross platform thing, you can really both gain from it. And the great thing about it is both of you get a video out of it. And everybody like that does YouTube for a while is like, oh, I got to come up with another video. And just having that way of creating another video is sometimes a bit of a relief. So people really do enjoy doing collabs. So it's amazing how open people will be to collaborating. So when you want to do a collab, just reach out to channels and say, hey, would you be interested? I really enjoy your content. We have similar interests, and I think my audience would like to learn more about you. Come on to my channel, and you can talk about your comics. And the funny thing is, it really does help build your channel. Um, so, so that's number 4 on my list. Now, kind of going one step further is my background is in marketing. So one of the things that you can do is really think about marketing in general. So one of the things that my specialty is in SEO, which is search engine optimization. So, and I don't necessarily do this really that well in my channel. Like I do certain kind of tricky things, but there's ways of optimizing your video. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple tips to help you rank a bit better in the algorithm within YouTube. One thing is to mention certain keywords in the title. Now you got to balance that out though, because generally what happens is you'll rank well with adding keywords to the title of your video and in the description. Get those keywords all in there. But what'll happen is if your title isn't interesting, like if it's not something that is going to grab somebody's attention, then generally people won't click it. They won't watch it because it looks lame. So you got to kind of balance out between keywords and coolness of that title. So if you're going to title something, title it with something that's a little bit clickbaity. Look, get that interest, create that interest. And then have have the keywords within your description. So things like, you got to think of what are people searching for when they're looking for your video. And there's a couple tricks to find out. So one of the things that you can do is you go to YouTube and you actually start typing in the address, like in the search bar, you just type in like comics, like something, because that's what we all do, comics. And then what it'll do is it'll autocomplete. So you'll see like a comic collecting or comic books or comic whatever. It'll autocomplete. Well, those autocompletes are based on search activity. and how often people actually search for those things. So what you can do is say, oh, wow, people are searching for these things. Like, what are comics or something, something like that. They'll search for certain words, and you can actually take that and manipulate it. Use that in your titles, in your descriptions, and use those words in your descriptions and titles to make it so that people come in. Now, to add to that, what you can do is whatever the keywords that it shows, do actually go and see what videos appear for those. And what you'll see is you'll see a lot of videos that contain those keywords, but you'll also see ones that have really great titles that don't necessarily have the keywords the best way, but have really great titles that are clickbaity, that will engage people. Well, you can use, something similar to make your videos interesting. So you can kind of use what worked for other people in your videos, and you can see what videos people are clicking, and it'll give you a better sense of interest. My friend Mark Oldroyd, he has a video that he did about Starro. Like, he did a video about Starro, this, the big jellyfish guy. Not jellyfish, starfish. Okay, wrong animal. But he did a video about that, and he just happened to, he labeled it correctly, origin of Starro and all this, or whatever, something like that. It was a really good title for Starro. And it is one of his most searched videos. It's one of his most popular video. I think it has over 3,000 or 4,000 views on it. And it's because there wasn't any other videos competing with it, probably. Like, very few people made videos about Starro. And it just happens to be a very good video that explains about Starro. And people, when the Suicide Squad movie came out, #2, people were interested. They were like, who is this big starfish guy? Like, and they would go on to his video. And people still go on to his video because they are curious about that character. So there's a lot of ways that you can find out that marketing element, that search marketing. Another thing within that marketing sphere, that's my specialty, is look at other platforms. One of the things that you can do is cross promote. So a lot of the successful channels that I've noticed, they actually built a fairly strong Instagram followers before they really got onto YouTube. And what they did is they basically said, hey, Instagram people, I'm also on YouTube, and check me out on YouTube. And they can do shorts and stuff. Another channel that I watch, Bloop Comics, he will actually use WhatsApp, not WhatsApp, TikTok. Sorry, he uses TikTok to promote his videos. And that's another means of creating interest, because actually building a following on TikTok seems to be easier than YouTube. YouTube is actually one of the harder platforms to build a fast following. Like, my personal account on, for example, Instagram, I started way after. It's already at 800. It wasn't that hard to get to that point. My following on Twitter for my personal thing is over 40,000. So, you can leverage those things, and it's actually really easy to build those kind of followings. So the point is, use all these things to kind of cross promote and build your channel. And those are some of the marketing tricks that you can do to really boost your channel. Other things within the marketing sphere, because that's something I know well, is you can use hashtags within your videos. One of the things that I do on my Friday challenge is I always use Friday challenge, and you start building a brand around certain hashtags, and if you have enough videos within that hashtag, it becomes your hashtag. So you can sort of build up popularity within a hashtag, and you can leverage other hashtags that people are searching or using, and build up your following that way as well. So I definitely recommend, use hashtags, use the tags within the video. When you're creating your video, you can actually use tagging, and you can put that, special keywords in there as well. So get all those keywords in there. Another thing that you might want to do within your marketing is you can use your end cards to basically have it so that when people finish watching the video, like at the end of this video, you'll see it. You can have it where there's a link to another video of yours to watch, and that just keeps them in your channel. So that generally, what'll happen is people don't subscribe after one video. They they if they see you once, they might subscribe, but really low chance, really low chance. Generally, it takes 3 or 4 times of seeing you like doing your video and them saying, "Oh, I guess I like this channel. It's worthy of of subscribing to it." That's what ends up happening. So you have to kind of keep on getting into people's faces and then they will subscribe. So one of the ways to kind of speed up that process is to have at the very end of your video that end credit, video where it says the, here, here's another video you can check out. A couple other quick tricks about marketing is always start your video with a catchphrase and always end your video with a catchphrase. And that kind of creates this kind of branding. Another thing you can do is use certain music or intro video. I actually don't use intro videos in my videos. Again, that's because I don't edit my videos. And again, back to point number 2, where I said, hey, if you do a little bit more editing, you can actually get better results. Well, having that intro video does help. So why don't I do it? I'm lazy. I'm sorry, but it does help. So if you do that kind of level of extra editing where you get that little intro video, don't make it too long because people hate that too. Get like maybe 5 to 10 seconds, just enough just to give people that flavor of you, and they will generally like that. And it's about creating that branding. So these are all the marketing kind of tips that I can mention right now. I actually, believe it or not, I teach. I used to teach often about marketing before the pandemic. I teach pretty much like 3 or 4 times a month, like at like IBM and all these other kind of random places. And I would do a session all about YouTube, like it's just like a 1 to 2 hour session, and then questions and answers would always make it another hour long. People really loved it. So yeah, I could really go on forever about all the marketing things you can do with YouTube. But I hope that this, even though this is kind of a different topic than really the Q&A that I normally do, because I only got one question. I hope that this has been useful, and I hope that it's been interesting to people that, are thinking about, hey, wouldn't it be fun to create a comic book channel? Well, do it. that's the last tip. Just do it. Just have fun with it. And yeah, and have fun subscribing to this channel and and all that kind of stuff. And leave a comment below with your question and I will answer it next week. Thanks again for watching.